So you may have seen this in the background of some of my recent videos. My last video was actually shot several months ago, and since then I've found more and more ways to integrate these goosenecks into various materials aside from the cutting board, my favorite of which has been concrete. My thought with this design is that it gives the goosenecks a nice weighted base, but doesn't take up much space, so I can spread out if I'm doing a larger project. I hate to toot my own horn too much, but it is literally the best helping hands I've ever used in my life. You can buy one from me from Etsy if you want one, but for this project I wanted a little bit more integration with the other tools that I use for soldering, like this brass tip cleaner, which is great at its task, but terrible in every other facet, like standing up. The mold for the current one is a silicone cover for an LED nightlight I got from IKEA several years ago. So I searched Amazon for other silicone LED lights and got one that seemed to fit the bill, and at $15 the budget as well. This one changes colors but is actually horrific at being what it is, so we're just going to use it for this instead. My thought is that we'll need to create a void in the mold, and we'll need something that we can stick inside so we end up with a cavity for the brass wire pad. My initial thought was a balloon filled with air. I had attempted to hot glue it in place, but it wouldn't stick to the silicone, so I ended up cutting a small hole for the tail of the balloon to pass through. I also marked out spaces in consideration for my solder and iron, but those will come later. As I was cleaning up my workspace outside, I decided that it would probably be best to not include the goosenecks quite yet, and run a test pour in case the balloon wasn't going to be the best option, which was a good idea, because it failed miserably. This silicone is quite a bit thinner than the one from the other lamp, so placing it on a surface will just kink it while the balloon changes the balance and makes everything tumble. Also, who would have guessed a balloon filled with air is buoyant, right? Anyways, I tried to salvage it by using a couple of the other helping hands, but I didn't really expect much and went on to fill the rest of my molds. The next day you can really see the damage. Lots of dents, and the hole is a mess. There's actually a stalactite in the bottom from where the popsicle stick was pushing the balloon in, so time for round 2. I made a holder so I could hang it and filled the balloon with water this time so it wouldn't float, and it came out beautifully. Granted, there was still some work to do to clean up the opening, but this is a win, and I can move on to figuring out placement of the goosenecks, which for now will have to wait for another video. I have been using this on its own and it is fantastic. I can't wait until it's all finished and I can show you more. In fact, I'd love to hear what you'd want to have on this solder station, so put that in the comments below. I'll throw all the links to everything in the description, and give me a like if you liked it. If you want to see more DIY and art videos like this, subscribe, as I'll be releasing new videos every other Wednesday. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.